at the global scene, and they are not done yet. It seems they're shattering ceilings, breaking ladders, and like you, they also want to shake tables and break it also. I'm saying this to say that well, we've seen Rema there. Even though we hear some things around Selena Gomez, but hey, well, let's move on. Ashake is also in the news too in this one because they all are aiming for next year's Grammys 2024, and it said they've submitted works already, and it's going to be a fierce one till the last, till the well, take it away from Irabor. Hello, Irabor, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I said, we spoke about this 2 years ago and last year, where we were discussing, the next steps for the Grammys. It was becoming stale, viewership was down, and the emergence of Afrobeat, that they now coined as Afrobeats, has now taken center stage. All these artists are no longer, in my own opinion, looking to, impress the international community. The international community are the ones coming to them now. So this category, along with other categories, in my own opinion, just because of collaborations and everything, where you're already seeing the results, between Burna Boy, and Cole, Wizkid, where they're winning Grammys, just aside this new category. But it's fun to see Rema and Ira Star, who are on the same label, to vie for the same category, amongst other things. Then you also have Ashake, to me, who is like a 50 Cent, who just came out of nowhere. You understand? Yeah, it just came out of nowhere and boom. He reminds me of Steph Curry in basketball. They thought it was another cast of players that were going to assume that Excelsior, but he just came out of nowhere. So it is beautiful to see. And I want this to be a challenge for them, to create more music, to best their best, because they should not relax. And it just reminds me of that primary school song. I can't remember. Anybody who remembers should, put it on WhatsApp. Is it good, better, best? I shall
never rest
until my good is better. Better. That's it. I feel like attending assembly this morning. I miss assembly.
Man. Let's start an assembly this morning on radio then.
So yeah, it's good to see these guys doing these things. I mean, the fact that they're understanding the business, promoting it beforehand, unlike what we do with NFF or MBBF, where they want to do something that week that they want to start putting things in place. But now this is a business. This is how structure is supposed to be. And this should inspire other people to create our own calendar here in Nigeria. Shout out to Hip Hop World Awards. I mean, they call themselves the headies now, for being consistent. Shout out to Afrif for being consistent. Shout out to AMVCA for being consistent. And who else again? Shout out to AMA. We need all these things for our entertainment industry, whether it is film or music. And we need to start waking up and really seeing what is out there, because there's a gold mine in sports, in entertainment, in everything that is in Nigeria.
We would like to get the listener involved inside the Grapevine this morning. If you would get your thoughts onto the WhatsApp platform on 0809 444 0981. 0809-444-0981. And of course, if you want to start the assembly, probably like Irabor is calling for this morning, let's also hear what it feels like for you this morning. But Irabor, on to something very sad. And so maybe for a moment, we would get sad this moment, because it's a very trying moment for the Balogun family at this time. And that's, if you're still wondering who's the Balogun, so talking about the Wizkid at this time. Sometime last week, as we went for the weekend, yes, it was time for him to bid farewell to mommy. And confession is that I had to go back this morning to listen to that song off of his 2014 album, Ayo, that's Joy. Listening to that song, a tribute to his mother, Mommy Me. That's Mommy Me. That's what I listened to this morning to really connect. There was an essence in that song when I listened to it all over, and then seeing the emotion it generated, the outpour, by Wizkid as he bid farewell to his mother.
Any mother who's worth their weight in salt deserves to be, I wouldn't even use the word worship, but, to be thanked, to be exalted, to be praised, because first of all, it's not even easy carrying a child for 9 months. All the complications that come with it. And for you to not still have a mother that would be there for you, do what a mother is supposed to do. It's a sad situation. Yes, death is inevitable. It's going to come. I just spoke with my mother before we even started the show, and I always imagine that. So I'm going to lose this person one day. It's something that I don't even look forward to at all. I feel like the time should stop. I remember when I lost both my grandmothers in the same year. Those were the ladies who raised me, and it's something I'm still processing till today. You really don't, there's no blueprint for it. Despite the fact that Wizkid has everything, there are things that would happen to you in life that would just, shake your center. So my condolence to the entire family. I really pray that they find a way to, keep moving and keep doing things in their lives despite this whole thing that has happened with their mother. So shout out to the family.
It's also about how the support system we've seen around him, and we see now he has a whole lot of women in his life. When you see that is, that's talking about the family wise also, but also looking at how the stars people showed up for him. Some old people you would imagine like, hey, this man is a young man. Why are you all here? But it seemed like they're saying that when a child watches his aunt very well, he might dine with kings and they would even come and honor him. That's what it looks like.
Yes. Oh, yes. You have the genuine ones, the cloud chasers, the ladies who are looking to even find a way inside that pot of gold. So at the end of the day, Wizkid has solidified himself, regardless of his age. That's not even an issue right now. Even the young and the old want to associate with him. Everybody wants to associate with something great, and I'm so happy that he has gotten that much support from people he knows and people he doesn't even know. I just pray that, he's protected from anything that is negative, because despite the fact that he's a musician, he's doing a lot of good for the country's equity. He is really an ambassador of Nigeria, despite everything that has been going on in the news, regardless of all that. Wizkid, to me, in my own opinion, is a star boy.
It was also how a special message was also delivered mentioning Davido, who was absent and who would be mentioned after we move away from this story, by K1, making special message across from Davido, from the Ogun State government, and every other person delivering the message to Wizkid at the ceremony.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show that at the end of the day, despite the fact that they're musicians, they are competitors, when it comes to real life situations, everybody has to rally around and be there for each other. It's life at the end of the day. Yeah. When you go for somebody's jugular, when you're, performing or you're releasing music, whether there is beef or whatever, when it comes to, I will use pidgin now, when it comes to person mama, person pikin, person papa, person family, things change in some cases, so I like the fact that people can separate that. Sometimes it's not easy to compartmentalize, it's not easy, but, it's good that you have old guys, the OGs coming for, ceremonies like that, even if it's a burial ceremony, but at the end of the day, great messages are being brought to, the fore, from the guys who are not attending to the guys who are there, and, everybody's trying to have that kumbaya spirit at the end of the day.
That takes us to the man who now safely you can say Baba Beji, and then we might be asking, when are we going to have Idowu in the family somewhere along the line, if you're going to have Kehinde and Taye and Kehinde and all of that. But this is saying this is more like the best of times for Davido, OBO, as formally the announcement is real now that he has welcomed twins.
Yeah, last year, it was last year around this time that he lost his boy. I mean, I can't even imagine that kind of sadness. It's unfathomable. You can't imagine that, losing a child. I mean, you're talking about losing a mother. Yes, like you even spent time, like losing a child I can't imagine it. So the fact that he can go through that pain and still try to bring life into this world, and God has blessed him with twins. That's remarkable. That's just beautiful to see. I mean, from one tragedy with Wizkid's mom to another one where we're seeing joy as a result. So I'm sure that's why he wasn't present, because of, the birth of his twins. So I'm so happy for that. Like, the industry needs good news at this point, beyond just Grammy nominations or, concerts or anything. Like, we need real life situation news, like people being happy as a result, because the Grammy comes and goes, but you have your child or your children with you continuously, making memories and all that.
Yeah, Irabor, talk to me about how possible it is for sorrows or trying times and grief to bond couples and then bring out this kind of beauty.
I would just speak from somebody outside looking in. I've not been in that situation like that, but just logically off the top of my head, it depends on the individuals, it depends on the kind of tragedy, it depends on the situation in life at that point in time, because, there could be resentment, there could be so many other things, but if you have somebody that is loving, understanding, that is steadfast, that is relentless, in the pursuit of your love and happiness, you guys can come through with yourselves alone, even self, without the support of family. You can come through anything, you can break through anything, you can come out of anything, you can survive anything. So that's what I'm seeing here. It's not even a case about money. Yes, money may play a role, but at the end of the day, if they say body don't really day inside it, day inside it, you cannot force it. Do you understand? So, but I'm happy that this is happening for him and his family.
I get it, Drift Irabor. But in style, it is the style in which these twins, went home. For me, they were carried home from the hospital. Some would, their first ride away from the hospital would have been on a motorbike, probably on a tricycle, no shading, but I'm saying, for me, how well can this be, Irabor, in granddad's Bentley?
Yes, so to me. Come on. You can imagine the baby buggy, what it would be like. Maybe they'll have like 24-inch rims and they'll be rolling down the bodega. But it's good to have money. Money answers all things. It's good to have money. Love is sweeter when there is money. Nobody loves
money sweet, but you love it. I get that.
Money sweet. Money sweet.
Anyone telling you it's not good to have money, please have it first, then you can join the argument.
They should give me and I'll help them manage it.
All right, so we'd like to get your thoughts on any of the issues we're picking up inside the Grapevine this morning. And you can let us have those thoughts coming on to 0809-444-0981. So far, we've taken you through Ashake, Rema, and Ira Star already gone in for Grammys in 2024. They sent in their works already. So we see who may the best man or the best woman win. That's all you can say. But in addition to that, we've also informed you how Wizkid and family friends laid to rest his mom, Jane Dolakbo, last weekend, and how solidarity from everyone would come to show him up at this moment. And then too, the latest father in town, Baba Beji, Davido, that's what we talked about a while ago. And then the baby's going home in a Bentley. Anyway, we'll be back shortly after this time. When we come back, it'll be time to get into some Dotun issues. They say love, the way people will love when they fight is also equally intense. But wait for this after this time out. It's still the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1 FM. I've got Irabor still waiting. My name is Omatseye Atsenuwa.
The drama these days, the drama these days in the entertainment industry now die.
Or just simply getting service that is designed just for you. Yeah, we thought you might like all of that and more. That is why we specially created Providence Bank for you to take care of your daily experiences. At Providence Bank, we believe that banking should be all about you and your business and how to get you to the next level. If you do not already have a Providence Bank account, please speak with our business concierge on 0700 77 684 387. Or email businessconcierge@providencebank.com to switch to a future-forward banking experience. Providence Bank, future-forward banking. Connection is very important. Keep it strong at home or on the go. With Airtel Home Broadband Internet devices, get the 10,000 Naira or the 20,000 Naira router that gives you 30 gigabytes and 100 gigabyte data instantly, or the 5,000 Naira MiFi and the 7,500 Naira MiFi that gives you 5 gigabytes and 30 gigabytes instantly. Hurry to the nearest Airtel shop or visit www.airtel.com.ng/HBB to get started. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
The one is out, from the glistening beaches to the glamorous city. The real housewives of Lagos is here. Your favorite, Chioma, Irabor, Laura, Marian, and Tony. They try to bring you even more charm, style, and drama. Faith and Tanya join Okosun and add some extra spice. Subscribe for 1,200 naira a month. Sign up now at showma.com.
OneXBet is offering a mind-blowing hyper bonus. Get ready for a game experience like no other. Get an accumulator bet and watch your winning score with our 1,000% bonus. That's right, 1,000%. So what are you waiting for? Visit OneXBet.ng today. Choose promo code Alpha Nigeria to get a 300% bonus up to 189,280 naira. Take advantage of the hyper bonus from OneXBet.
Hey, what's up? This is Radio. Stay tuned, stay locked right here on Smooth 98.1.
We're Smooth 98.1 FM. It's still the Grapevine. It's gone 28 minutes before it is 9 o'clock. I still got Irabor Okosun. My name is Omatseye Atsenuwa. Still got some more stories, entertainment stories to pick up this morning. But let's let you know we expect your messages onto the phone line 0809-444-0981, reacting to any of the Grapevine stories this morning. Irabor.
I am here.
Okay, so I see a couple of messages here. I see one from Peter. Let's just throw them in before we progress to the next story. This one from Peter from Festac says, congratulations to Davido family for the newly born twins. And then I want to also send condolences to Wizkid, who lost the mom. Well, thank you so much. And that one comes in now from Tayo. This one we're looking at. Well, he says, shout out to me for being consistent. Well, honestly, give it to you. Thumbs up to Tayo for that. And then it says, God bless the Balogun family. I hope Cynthia Morgan is happy with the outcome after a premature post. Did you see that stray bullet fired?
I'm just wondering how people just go from one place to another place and fire somebody bullet, but it happens now. That's why we're on the group.
Okay, so it's allowed. Let's get on to this next story. It seemed like, well, when things go south between two lovebirds, eventually the intensity of the way it goes to manage it, it's not always very easy like that. Like everybody shake hands and then we can go separate ways. It's not looking like this. As we're talking about OAP.2, an estranged wife fight dirty online over child custody. That's where we are right now, Irabor.
So, yeah, the energy god. I mean, we all know Dotun, is in our industry, and I know from my experience with him, I know him to be a very chill, discreet guy, like somebody who doesn't put his business out there like that. I mean, he can be a commentator online and all that, but personal issues that I mean, it's just recently that I'm seeing that he, is putting all these things out there, and you cannot know what may have happened for somebody to act that way, where they don't care. They've thrown caution to the wind, where they're just like, I don't care. This is everything. But where I have an issue in the sense, and when I say issue, I'm not saying I'm trying to dictate how somebody should live their lives, but I'm saying I don't know, for posterity's sake, for somebody who is in this business, somebody who is a brand ambassador and so many other things, I just feel, social media should not be where you channel your frustrations, in my own opinion. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, I'm not on the level of Dotu in terms of OAP, but like we've all been through certain things in life, and I've never gone online. I know people who haven't gone online. It's a very dark place to go, because once it's out there, and it just spirals into, something crazy. I don't know who is at fault. I mean, living with people is challenging, is tough sometimes. It just depends on the persons. You never really know what the other person is thinking. Things can go sour. That's why I say when you're looking to love or settle down, it's beyond that love butterfly feeling. You guys have to also be friends. You guys have to understand each other. It's an evolving thing. It keeps evolving. So if you're going to go that way, you have to really be steadfast. So I wish him the best, because this is not something you'd want to see. You can't imagine how it'd be affecting him. The fact that he can't see his kids, or the wife is withholding the kids, or there's family involvement. We've all been there. You can't escape family issues one way or the other. So This is not a case of trying to enjoy the gist or this is entertainment for anybody. This is somebody's life, and it's sad to see, because the daughters would grow up to see these things, whether or not they settle or they separate. It's the same thing where
the internet never forgets.
It never forgets. Like I still don't understand how, a child of Kim Kardashian or one of those people who have sex tapes outside, Tiwa and co, like you just wonder, how would you live your life? I really don't understand how that dynamic works. So it's really tough, but this is not the case. I'm just saying, this is even a dispute that is just thrown out there. The blogs are going to take it. People are just going to have opinions, left, right, center, sides are going to be taken. But again, it's somebody's life. So we hope that we don't see such stories.
For those who will not understand at this point, he is married to the sister of D'banj.
Yeah.
And the argument now is, after 8 years, you would imagine 8 years isn't 8 days or probably 8 hours ago. And you see this, but then going to say he wants to see the children, then because it was his own video I saw first before the wives now, because it was more like, I need a proof, so it doesn't look like something goes wrong here, and then he was being accused of acting, going irrational. So that was what made him get out the recording to say, see, I'm trying to see my children.
Yeah, but the thing is, she accused him of being deceitful to her. She talked about trauma. Again, I've not heard any story of maybe there was domestic violence or any type of trauma that led to something of that nature. And you also have emotional trauma. You also have different ways of abuse and all that. So you really can't say, because people interpret things differently. There are women in relationships where they will jack their husband, like, you beat me today. There's some husband that you do that on to, something happens. There's some husbands that you do that on to, by the grace of God, they walk away. So it depends. You can never really know when you catch somebody. And I'm not even talking about domestic violence. I'm just talking about general dispute, like anything can just happen at any time. So we always have to be careful. We always have to be mature. We always have to proceed with caution, despite the fact that you're married to somebody for a lengthy amount of time, or 8 years or whatever. You have to also respect the person. You have to treat the person nicely. So you see, relationships and marriage and all these things, even business relationships, you just have to find a way to nurture it, because people, I've lost business deals just because there was one time, I digress. There's one time I was at an event, somebody who, we're doing something together. I didn't even know the person was there. The person thought I saw him and I didn't greet him. And I didn't even know the person was there. I didn't even see the person. So I now wondered, why didn't this thing go through? It was later. The friend told me, said, you didn't greet Egbon. I said, Egbon was at that party. He said, yes. So imagine that kind of thing. Like,
I
so
see the point you're
things
making.
can happen anywhere. So we just have to praise God and thank God and, let him cover us, because things are crazy.
That's what they say, Kashama Dukbe, sort of. But
So
if my Yoruba sounds
that's why when I see anybody now, I greet everybody, even if they don't know me. Alpha.
All right, so we just hope that somewhere along the line, Jotu and the wife Taiwo would somewhere along find a means, a middle ground, and just for the sake of the children, move on, and then that's what it is.
Sure.
Just
because
like we saw the last time, just like we saw Funke Akindele and JH Skills. At least they're not together, but they attended the premiere together.
But there's also fine. There are people that are smart like that can understand and compartmentalize. There are different factions to it. You have men who are not interested in marriage, just want to have their own kids. The same thing with women who are comfortable being single mothers, which I think both angles are bad for society, especially for Black society. So if you want to get married, get married. If you don't want to get married, sit down. In my own opinion.
Drifting away now to something for those who belong to that era. Well, this is something they would know. This man brought a lot of laughter to homes back in the days. For those who saw that comedy show, it's called the Ojoladipo Show back in the days. And well, if you still don't catch the drift now, it's Papi Luwe now. I don't know, Irabor, if you've seen any of that back in the days, but if you want to deny the connection at this time, fine, leave the WhatsApp group. But I'm saying this to say that, prayers pouring in now for veteran actor Adebayo Salami, aka Oga Bello. It sounds right. You know him because he's been battling hypertension for over 40 years.
What I'm going to say, you even have people who are within our age range. I don't know your age, Omashe, so I'm not even going to try to guess.
Okay.
But my point is, you have people in their 20s that have hypertension, people in their 20s that have, high BP, diabetes, so many things.
Yes.
We really need to take our health seriously. Very, very seriously. We really, really need to take it seriously. He's in his 70s. I think he's about 70 years old, I guess. So yeah, if you hear a 70-year-old person has hypertension, you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
But the person has been battling it for 40 years. So that means since he was 30.
Wow.
So you can imagine, how that would have touched his body in certain ways. But the fact that he's still alive is the glory of God. This is Femi Adebayo's father. Femi Adebayo has gone on to do great things. He has movies on Netflix and Amazon. I mean, I can't imagine how proud, Adebayo Salami would be as Oga Bello himself, But the thing now is, how do we take care of our health system? That it's not even about Nollywood now. I'm talking about generally Nigeria as a whole. We need our health system to be done properly, to cater to older people, younger people, middle-aged people, where we're not having such issues. We need to start educating people about our health, what to do at certain ages, when you're supposed to cut out sugar, or even at all you're not supposed to be taking sugar, when you're supposed to be eating meat or eating fish or replacing, swallow with something else, things like that. So we need to share information, even if nobody is going to help us. Yeah.
And so with someone like him sharing this kind of information, it helps to create awareness about hypertension, you would want to say.
Yes, for sure. Certainly.
And this leads us to our final story inside the Grapevine, where Michael Caine confirms retirement from acting after The Great Escaper. Take us through this. He's 90 already.
I mean, the fact that he's still pushing till now. My goodness. This man, just like Maggie Smith, Michael Caine is a veteran. He has done everything. Everything. So the fact that he's retiring at 90, longevity indeed has a place in his life. Because some people can't, you see footballers retiring at 34. Eden Hazard hasn't even done anything and he retired. You can imagine. Neymar ran to Saudi Arabia. You don't see people living out their dream to the fullest. Certain things can come to play, but Michael Caine has done his bit in the industry. So it is time for him to really, really rest and kick back. Yes, for sure. I am all for that. Whether it is illness that made him do so, whether it is age, whether it is, I don't know. He needs to rest. 90 is enough. It's enough. Even if they want to cast grandfather, granddaddy, they should leave him.
Leave him alone.
Baba, rest.
But this one, if you're talking about rest, well, this one is living and resting. But a final mention for the Grapevine is that the Isley Brothers founder, one of the founding fathers, members, Rodolph Isley, died, passed on at the age of 84.
You see what we're talking about with Michael Caine now.
Yes.
See Rodolph Isley now, passing away at this age. When you get to your 70, 75, 80, 84, 85, you just have to thank God, because for somebody to be born in 1939 and you're still living till 2023, what else do you want? There are a lot of people who we thought were going to live long, who were trailblazers, but they were cut short. Imagine if Michael was alive now. Imagine if Whitney was alive now. Imagine if what was the name of this guy? Mohbad. What's the name? There's this guy I'm trying to remember who had a car crash. I can't remember. Da Green.
Da Green.
Yeah, imagine Da Green. So the fact that we've even been blessed with the Isley Brothers, with the music catalog that they have, yes, everybody should go back and tune in. And I'm even going to look for a Michael Caine movie to watch today.
Yeah, that's it. So for me, because you mentioned the name, there's one star who's passed on who, whenever we see in heaven, anywhere we see after now, I have a question. I have questions for her. Whitney Houston, I still feel that void till date.
Yes, Whitney, in my own opinion, the best voice ever. The only person who would come close is probably Jennifer Hudson or somebody, I don't know. But Whitney Houston is that voice. Whitney was a personality. The personality that I think is like Whitney's is Kiki Palmer. That personality, that vivacious person, that is ready to just, perform, do everything, and also has personality, doesn't let her celebrity, down her original personality. The love that she and Bobby Brown had, like a lot of people would want that, removing all the other, element that's negative.
All
But
right,
that passion.
Irabor, that's the size of the show this morning. I really want to appreciate you for your time.
Thank you so much, Omatseye Atsenuwa.
Shenua. Okay, well, let's see how it goes. Xavier from Bagada, I see your message here. It says the Bible said 70, which is 70. Anything after that is Jara. Yes, Whitney, the voice. That's what agreeing to what we said. So thank you all so much. Let's do it again on Thursday, Irabor. That's it will be Grapevine. So all right, have a great day.
You too.
Bye. And that's the size of the Grapevine. My name is Omatseye Atsenuwa. Good morning.